the same $10,000 has been sitting in your savings account for 10 years, it says something about you. Not that you are bad with money, something worse. It says you may be protecting your money from risk, while quietly exposing it to a guaranteed loss. And most people do not notice until the number looks the same, but the life it can buy has shrunk. That is the cruel part. The bank balance did not betray you, your belief system did. Because saving the same money for 10 years is rarely just a financial habit. It is often a personality strategy. It says, I would rather feel safe today than become free tomorrow. You may be good at saving, but you may not yet be good at building wealth. And there is a difference. Saving gives you emotional control. Investing requires emotional maturity. That is why so many intelligent people stay stuck in cash. Not because they cannot understand compound interest. They stay stuck because the savings account gives them a feeling, certainty, control, a beautiful little number that does not move unless they allow it. But wealth is built by accepting that some things must move in order to grow. Money that never moves may feel obedient, but obedient money rarely becomes powerful money. Saving protects you from emergencies. Investing protects you from time. One is an umbrella, the other is a roof. And the tragedy is this. Many careful people spend 10 years polishing the umbrella, while the roof is leaking. Today I want to show you why keeping the same money parked for too long can become dangerous, what experts generally recommend instead, and how to turn still money into future money. We are not doing panic. We are doing maturity, much rarer. And the first test of that maturity is understanding the invisible enemy most savers underestimate. Let me introduce you to the most elegant thief in finance, inflation. She does not kick down your door. She does not steal your handbag. She simply walks into your savings account every year, wearing pearls, and takes a little purchasing power. You keep seeing the same number, $10,000. How comforting, how stable, how beautifully misleading, because $10,000 today does not buy what $10,000 bought 10 years ago. At only 3% inflation, $10,000 loses roughly a quarter of its buying power in 10 years. Not because you spent it, because you waited. That is inflation. Not dramatic in one day, devastating over a decade. If prices rise and your cash does not grow, your money is not resting. It is shrinking in disguise. This is the first mistake, confusing a stable balance with stable value. They are not the same thing. A dollar amount is what you see. Purchasing power is what you can actually use. And darling, money you cannot use for the same life anymore is not as safe as it looks. Now, before anyone clutches her pearls and says, Margot told me not to save, no, I adore savings. Savings are the reason a broken water heater does not become a personal tragedy in 3 acts. But cash needs a job description. Emergency money should be liquid, easy to reach, boring, almost offensively boring. Experts commonly suggest building an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, ideally in an account that pays some interest and still gives easy access. It keeps you from putting a medical bill on a credit card with an interest rate that behaves like a nightclub bouncer. But after the emergency fund is full, extra cash needs a new assignment. I once met a woman who had $68,000 in savings and no retirement account. She said it made her feel safe, and I understood her, truly. But then I asked one question. Safe from what? Safe from a flat tire, safe from a broken refrigerator, safe from a surprise dental bill. But she was not safe from being 70 years old with no growing assets. That is not safety. That is short-term comfort dressed as long-term planning. Because if every dollar stays in savings forever, you are not building a financial system. You are building a waiting room. A smart structure might look like this. First, pay the dangerous debt. Then build the emergency fund. Then use retirement accounts. Then invest for long-term goals. Not because it is fancy, because every dollar should know whether it is protecting today, buying tomorrow, or growing for later. Here is where people get offended. Saving feels noble because it is visible. You put in 500. You have 500. You put in 500 more. You have 1,000. Simple, clean. Like folding towels. Investing is different. It feels slow at first, annoyingly slow. You invest, and for a while, it looks like nothing is happening. Then one day, the account starts doing something very impolite. It starts growing without asking for your permission. That is compounding. Compounding means your money can earn returns, and then those returns may earn returns of their own. At first, it looks unimpressive. Later, it looks suspiciously like magic. Imagine two women. Claire saves $300 a month in cash for 30 years. No growth. She ends with $108,000. Respectable. Now imagine Evelyn invests $300 a month for 30 years and earns an average annual return of 7% before fees and inflation. She could end with roughly $340,000. Same monthly habit, different destination. Claire filled a jar, Evelyn built a machine, and here's where people get very quiet. Claire did not fail because she was lazy. She failed because she used the wrong tool for the wrong decade. Cash is a tool for the next emergency. Investments are tools for the next 20 years. Cash solves emergencies. It does not build retirement. And this is why 10 years of saving the same money says a lot. It says you may understand discipline, but you may not yet understand direction. Most people measure their financial life by income. I make $80,000. I make $120,000. I got a raise. Lovely. But income is not wealth. Income is the water coming through the pipe. Net worth is what remains in the tank. And some very high earners have tanks with emotional damage. You can make a lot and keep very little. You can make a modest income and quietly build assets. Income impresses people at dinner. Net worth buys freedom when dinner becomes too expensive. This matters because a person can save the same cash for 10 years and feel financially mature, while their net worth barely moves. No retirement growth, no investment assets, no ownership. Just a very tidy bank account sitting there like a decorative pillow. Pretty. Useless in a storm. The goal is not to look solvent. The goal is to become resilient. And resilience is built by owning assets, reducing toxic debt, and giving time something to multiply. Debt is not automatically evil, but debt is never neutral. Good debt may help you buy or build an asset, a reasonable mortgage, education with real earning power, a business investment that has numbers behind it. Bad debt helps you buy a version of yourself you cannot afford. That handbag on a 24% credit card? That is not luxury. That is financial cosplay. And I say this as a woman who respects a good handbag. But if the bag is still being paid for when the season is over, the bag owns you. If you keep $20,000 in cash while carrying $8,000 in high-interest debt, you aren't safe. You are emotionally attached to the savings number. But wealth does not care which number makes you feel better. Wealth cares about the net result, and the net result is ugly. You are paying the bank to let you keep your own money. So before you feel proud of the savings account, look at the debt sitting beside it. Kill the debt. That may be your first real investment. Now let us talk about the boring place where careful people often leave money on the table. Taxes. Not loopholes, not yacht money. Legal, ordinary tax strategy. The wealthy do not just ask, how much did I earn? They ask, where should this money live? $1 inside the right retirement account may be treated differently than $1 sitting in regular savings. And no, tax brackets are not traps. They are stairs. You do not step onto the 5th stair and lose the first 4. Once you understand that, you stop letting fear make your financial decisions. So what does it say about you if the same money has been sitting there for 10 years? It may say you are disciplined. It may say you are cautious. It may say you grew up believing that not losing money is the same as building wealth. That belief is understandable, but it is incomplete because the modern financial world does not reward stillness. Prices move. Taxes move, markets move, Life moves, healthcare moves. Your money cannot be the only thing standing in the hallway holding its coat. The real goal is not to stop saving. It is to give every dollar a roll. The saddest financial mistake is not being irresponsible. Irresponsible people usually know they are making a mess. The saddest mistake is being proudly responsible in a way that no longer works. Saving was the first lesson, but it was never supposed to be the final lesson. So do not ask, how much have I saved? Ask the better question, what is this money supposed to become? Because 10 years from now, your balance may still look the same, but your life will not. And if your money has not been working beside you, you will feel the difference. Quietly at first, then all at once.